and members, before you is Major General Harrison Kandula, Air Force Commander, Zomba Airbase. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Okay. Major General Kandula, you can have your seat. You're most welcome, Major Kandula, Major General Kandula, to this hearing by the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, which is investigating the plane crash that took place in Ntongwa on 10th June 2024 and led to the loss of lives of the former Vice President, Dr. Saros Klaus Schlimer, and 8 others. We would like you to settle down. We've just had a session with the former commander of the Air Force Base and other media houses, and would like to inquire from you, what language would you want to communicate with us this evening?
Both English and Chichewa.
Much obliged, Major General. Major General, you occupy the senior operational leadership role with the Air Force. Your testimony is expected to help establish the command and operational processes that preceded the flight, including oversight of aircraft readiness, coordination among operational units, weather-related decision-making, and the communication of safety information through the military chain of command. This is in light of the fact that you were the Deputy Air Force Commander at that particular time. You have received summons to come and appear before us, in particular to testify on the role played by yourself and your office in the planning of the late Vice President flight on 10th June 2024, including operational responsibilities, military decision-making, travel arrangements, passenger coordination, communications with government institutions, and approvals obtained leading to the use of the military aircraft by the late Vice President. Before you respond, Major General, we will require you to take oath. May I request the Secretary to administer oath?
I, Major General Harrison Kandula,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
By the Almighty God.
by the Almighty God
That the evidence I shall give.
that the evidence I shall give
Shall be the truth.
shall be the truth,
The whole truth.
the whole truth,
And nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Major General, I'm aware we met you at this Zomba Airbase when we were inspecting the wreckage, but at that time you didn't take oath, so your testimony here will be very important. The floor is yours, if you can explain yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The time of the accident, I was the Deputy Air Force Commander, and the Air Force Commander was Major General Ishmael Piri. Background, their aircraft designated Math Tango 03 was tasked to conduct a VIP mission to transport the Vice President, the Right Honorable Dr. Saros Klaus Chirima, from Lilongwe to Zuzu on 10th June 2024. The aircraft departed Lilongwe at approximately 0917 hours local time. Radio contact with the aircraft was lost at about 10:10 hours local time while it was approaching Zuzu area.
You can proceed.
Okay. Search and rescue operations were initiated immediately after communication with the aircraft was lost. On 11th June 2024, the wreckage was located in the Ntungwa area of Chikangawa forest. Tragically, all 9 people on board lost their lives in the accident. Events on the 9th June 2024. On 9th June 2024, the aircraft had been hired by the family of late Honorable Laf Kasambala to transport the remains from Chileka to Mzuzu. According to the crew, the aircraft arrived late in Mzuzu due to adverse weather conditions experienced during the flight and late departure from Chileka. Later that evening, at around 1600 hours, a request was received from the Air Force commander for a VIP mission to transport the Vice President from Lilongwe to Mzuzu at 0900 hours on the 10th June 2024. All communications outside the Malawi Defense Force is coordinated through joint headquarters. So this request came from the joint headquarters to the Air Force, then it went down to the base for the mission. The base was informed of the new mission and it was instructed to notify the crew of the pending mission and departure time. Events of the 10th June 2024. On the morning of 10th June 2024, the crew reported that they have positioned themselves at Kamuzu International Airport in preparation for the VIP mission. The crew advised that the weather conditions were poor and indicated that they would obtain updated weather information before departure to Mzuzu. Base operations later reported that the aircraft had departed and its estimated time of arrival in Mzuzu was 10 hours that morning. At approximately 10:30 hours, I attempted to contact the crew by telephone. The calls did not go through. Let me make it a point that it is a normal practice among pilots to communicate and provide updates regarding flight's progress whenever possible. After failing to reach the crew, I contacted the base operations officer to inquire whether he had received any position or status information regarding the flight. At this time, no additional information regarding the aircraft position was available. The search. At approximately 30 minutes had passed without any information regarding the aircraft, pilots converged into the operations room of Zomba Airbase to monitor the situation and assist in gathering information. It was also reported to the Commander Air Force that the aircraft had not landed in Mzuzu as scheduled. At the same time, efforts were made through air traffic controllers at Kamuzu International Airport and in Mzuzu Airport to establish communication with the aircraft. The base operations officer briefed those present on the occurrence and the action being taken to determine the aircraft whereabouts. As part of the initial search efforts, inquiries were made with Rikoma, Kasungu, and Karonga airfields to establish where the aircraft might have diverted and landed at these locations. At around noon, we contacted 11 Brigade in Mzuzu to determine whether they had received any information regarding the aircraft. The brigade commander subsequently contacted the Malawi Police Service and requested police posts throughout the northern region to check for information that could assist in locating the aircraft. All information received and actions taken were continuously reported to the Air Air Commander. Despite these efforts, no confirmed information regarding the location of the aircraft was obtained at that stage. The Department of Civil Aviation declared an emergency and relocated to Mzuzu to commence search and rescue operations. Troops from 1-1 Brigade, that is the 3 Malawi Rifles, had already been deployed to the area. At that stage, the air traffic controller at Mzuzu reported that the last communication with the aircraft had occurred approximately 20 nautical miles north of Mzuzu Airport. Based on this information, search teams were directed to that area. Upon arrival, the Department of Civil Aviation joined the Malawi Defense Force personnel who were already conducting search operations on the ground. A team was assembled at Zomba, which included myself, to reinforce the operations in Zuzu. We departed Blantyre aboard MA600 aircraft and proceeded to Lilongwe. On the morning of 11th June 2026, we joined the search and rescue efforts in Chikangawa airfield. Upon arrival, I received a briefing from the Commander 1-1 Brigade regarding the progress of the search operations. At approximately 1100 hours, one of the search teams sighted the wreckage and reported the discovery to the Search Coordination Center. The soldiers accompanying the team were instructed to secure and cordon off the site pending arrival of additional personnel. When we arrived at the crash site, military personnel concentrated on securing the area and maintaining the integrity of the scene, while the members of the Air Force photographed the wreckage and various aircraft components for documentation purposes. Representatives from other departments also carried out their respective duties in accordance with established procedures. I coordinated with the Air Commander regarding the employment of Zambia Air Force helicopters to assist in the recovery and transportation of the deceased from Chikangawa to Lilongwe. This support was integrated into the overall recovery operations to facilitate the timely evacuation of the bodies. In conclusion, the aircraft departed Kamuzu National Airport on a VVIP mission to Mzuzu on 10th June 2024. Communication with the aircraft was subsequently lost, and repeated attempts to contact the crew were unsuccessful. Search and rescue operations were initiated, and the aircraft wreckage was located on 11th June 2024 in the Tungu area in Chikangawa Forest. The accident resulted in the loss of all 9 personnel on board. I submit, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Major General Kandula. May I request members, if they have any further questions, to bring them forward. The floor is open. Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Chair. And thanks, Brigadier General, for your presentation. I just want to find out, you're saying the on second page, point number 11, the crew advised that weather conditions were poor and indicated that they would obtain updated weather information before departure to Mzuzu. This information was provided to who? And was the updated weather information later obtained?
Thank you, Honorable Member. The information was provided. I called them to find out if they have a position in Lilongwe, and they told me of the weather en route from Zuzu to Lilongwe. And that observed the other weather, I'm not sure, because we never talked after that. Thank you.
Chair, second question. Yeah, was this reporting a kind of a complaint, or rather they needed your opinion after providing the weather conditions, or it was just for information?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It was for information, pilot-to-pilot information. As I've said, it is a normal practice for pilots to communicate and provide updates regarding each and every flight. Thank you, Chair.
Last one, Chair. Being a pilot, after the crew had informed you about poor weather conditions, did you probably try to check what the magnitude of the weather condition, whether it was possible to fly or not?
I did not get the magnitude of the weather, but the captain of the aircraft, being a senior captain, he's the last person to determine whether to proceed with the flight or to call it off because of the weather. So he was to get the weather before proceeding back to Zuzu. So that would have made him make a decision whether to proceed or to cancel the flight. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the responses. In other words, the captain was experienced enough to understand the weather conditions and make a decision whether to fly or not. In this case, that he proceeded to fly, should we assume that, or basing on how you knew the captain, it means the weather condition was okay to fly?
Thank you. Through your chair. The weather of Zuzu is unpredictable. It opens up, it closes up. So sometimes you can depart going to Zuzu while the weather is closed, but the time you're arriving in Zuzu, it can open up and you can make a landing. So it's about Zuzu weather is unpredictable. I think that's what I can say.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Lilongwe Modi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. I have like 3 questions, but these 3 questions, Major General, are asking about your opinion. So you can give me your opinion or you cannot give me your opinion. But I'm asking this because you are one of the very experienced Donia pilots. And I have to declare that every time I was on your flight with late Colonel Owen Sambalopa, I could feel safe because I knew the expertise that you had and that of late Colonel Sambalopa. So that's why I want to ask these questions. They pertain to the BFU report. I don't know if you'll be able to tell us this at this point or at another point, so feel free as well to not respond and turn it to another point. But I want to understand what would be your explanation to the turns that the Donia was making until it crashed, and we hear that at the end the landing gear was down. What would be your explanation? I believe as pilots, you sat down at some point and you had your own conversation. Is this something that you can share with with the committee? If you cannot share, I will understand that as well. And pertaining to the same, when you looked at the report, the route that was taken, did that Donia take the usual Lake Malawi route and then turn, or it took a different route in your own analysis? So you can also give me the response or not. I'll be okay with it. And the last one is on the aircraft was flying at 7,000 feet, but the flight plan was that it would fly at 9,000 feet. You have been flying it. Would you also share with this committee on what you think prompted pilots to fly at 7,000, not 9,000 feet? Chair, these are questions that are actually pertaining to what I want to hear as expert witness, if I may call him that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Through your chair, let me start by saying that flying from Lilongwe to Nzuzu, you start off from an airport which is instrument equipped to an airfield which is visual, which has no any navigational equipment. When you are flying into Lilongwe, you are assured that you'll be able to make an instrument approach using the facilities which are on ground at the international airport, at Kamuzu International Airport or Chileka Airport. So you can fly at that high level, you come in, you do the instrument approach and able to land. But in Nzuzu has no such facilities. So you have to fly visual into Nzuzu. So you can start off instrument flying from Lilongwe. At one point, you have to be visual so that you are able to land in Nzuzu. If you maintain the level which you are at above the clouds, it is difficult to descend in Nzuzu. So, when you are flying into Nzuzu, as you are getting closer to Nzuzu, any gap you find where you're able to see the ground, you can descend through that gap and maintain that visual contact with the ground so that you are able to land at Nzuzu. Or you can maintain the instrument flying only if you are able to contact Nzuzu and assure you that it has opened up, you'll be able to descend in. From my own view, looking at the turns, it might be, I'm not sure because I wasn't the one flying, that they were looking for gaps, they find a gap, it closes up, they'll climb again. They'll circle around, see another gap, they'll try to go in so that they maintain visual, they find that they are not visual, they'll climb again. Maybe those turns came about because of that reason. Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, Major General, the other two questions about the lake, did they use the Lake Malawi route or they used a different route? And on yeah, the other one you have already responded.
Okay. On the part of routes, a direct route from Kamuzu International Airport to Nzuzu passes over the mountains. But for sometimes when you're flying into Nzuzu, the area which looks a bit favorable in terms of weather is the lake shore. So pilots opt to go to the lake, break from the clouds, become visual, and fly into Nzuzu. This route only works if the clouds are not too low, because there are mountains which are taller. Sometimes you find that it's covered up. The mountains have entered into the clouds. So you can come low level from the lake where you have got the ground visual, but you find that the mountains have entered the clouds, then you have to fly up. The other area which becomes open is Ekwendeni side. So sometimes you can go around, you find the opening in Ekwendeni. It's where you can descend that side and come and land at Nzuzu. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair, thank you so much, Major General. What you have said, I have heard, and it makes a lot of sense to me. But it is my view. It is my view that you have said the route, direct route to Mzuzu is the one through mountains. The other one is not direct. It is my view that the pirates were trying to get to Mzuzu quicker because of the time factor that was there, because the late VP was going to the funeral and then was coming back. They were under pressure to get to Mzuzu quicker because they also told you that the weather is not good. So when the weather is not good, you usually use the lake. And the weather was not good, but they used the mountains. So it is my view that the pilots probably were under pressure to get to Mzuzu quickly and get back. This is my view, which you can agree or not agree.
I cannot agree. As I've mentioned, two areas which becomes open. It's either sometimes the lakeside or Ekwendeni. If you are flying over the mountains, if you don't find any gap around this direct route, the only area which you are assured of finding a gap is around the Ekwendeni area, which is almost direct on the direct route. I submit, Chair.
Zomba City, South.
Thank you so much, Major General. Let me also join my friends in thanking you for showing up and also for waiting so long for you to appear before us. Mine is on the crew. You knew late Sambalopa and the late Flora Seremani very well, I presume. What would you say about their competence? Because I think it's written somewhere in these reports that their competence was unparalleled. What would you say about their competence?
Thank you, Chair. They are well-experienced pilots and they knew the aircraft very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chair was quoting that because one of the pilots said this in one of the reports. And yesterday, was it today? The CDF also mentioned the same. Now, General, how many flights have you, in your opinion, or from your knowledge, because you have been around for so long, how many flights have failed to land or have been involved in an incident on that route that we're discussing, maybe in the recent 5 years before 2024?
Not that I know enough incident on that route.
Thank you very much. Meaning, Chair, I'm not giving my opinion, but this is a route that these pilots are well acquainted with, so they know what to do when on that route. So I just wanted that to be also clear. Major, you also mentioned about using visual contact, using visual as opposed to instrument at a certain point. Now, in case you lose visual, what is the first thing that you as an experienced pilot will do, especially pilots like Late Sambaropa, whose competence was unparalleled? Would you continue looking for visual as low as 140, maybe 1,000 feet above the sea level? What would be the right thing for you to do? You are flying at 9,000, you come low, you lose visual. What would be the best thing for you to do on that route?
Thank you, Chair. Situations differ. There are other situations where once you're not in contact with the ground, you have to fly up. There are other situations where you have to turn to where you are able to see and you are clear of the clouds. Thank you.
Chair, I was asking that because I counted the number of 360 degrees that the flight in question made. I think there were 3 or 4, 360 degrees. Was this competent pilot and co-pilot really looking for an opening below 8,000 feet, below 5,000 feet? 3 times they made the 360 degrees. A competent pilot like late Sabaroba, would that be the case?
Thank you, Chair. It can be competent because you are looking for a place where you can be safe and able to break from the clouds and able to land. Recently, there was a Boeing 737 which circled around Lumbadzi for 14 times, just circling for it to make a landing at International Airport. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, that would be all for me. Thank you.
Any questions? Kandula?
Chair, thank you for giving me this chance again. Major, I would like to understand this question. I'm always asking anyone who comes on that chair about ELT. That ELT black box, which is the story of Malawian. They need really to understand about these things. A cockpit voice recorder. Is it deliberately not fixed in the airplane of Air Force airplane? Secondly, would you on the position to recommend a civilian to take MDF airplane if these safety measures have not been taken off? First question. Secondly, is about the weather. What weather information was available before to take off because we were able to communicate with the pilot? We need to understand about the weather. Did they told you that we cannot land, or we found my suggestion, we found that the weather from Zuzu is not good, maybe we cannot go, and what was your reaction on and advice to them? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. I'll start with the issue of the weather. I took it upon that the pilot is the last person to determine whether to fly or not fly if the weather is bad. So if they told me the weather was bad, but we'll get updated weather for us to depart, to me that information was enough. On the second question of ALT, black box, voice recorder, it's not mandatory for a military aircraft to have data recorder or black box. On the minimum list of airworthiness, an emergency locator transmitter is not an instrument which will make an aircraft unworthy to fly. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, sorry. So my question is, if these things are not mandatory to be fixed in your airplane, would you in the position to advise VVIP to carry on their travel using this airplane whereby safety has been compromised according to maybe standard of ICAO? Thank you.
We are, as the Malawi Air Force or Malawi Defense Force, we are part of the government. It's the decision of the government to say VIPs will not fly on this aircraft because they don't have this equipment, or unless we procure the equipment for the aircraft. It's not our mandate to say we cannot carry these missions because they don't have this equipment on board. It's the government to make a decision whether VIPs to fly on this aircraft or not, depending on the availability of this equipment. Thank you, Chair.
Malanje North.
Thank you, Chair. Just a few questions, sir. I just wanted to know what's the role, or what role did the meteorology unit at the airbase in Zomba play during this the flight in question?
Thank you, Honorable Member. They played no role because the flight was from Mzuzu to Lilongwe. So Zuzu Information Service, there was an information tower, or Zuzu Tower was supposed to provide the weather forecast and the weather to the crew. Thank you.
Thank you. Secondly, it's similar to what Honorable Lilongwe, is it Mude, from the report that we are provided, there is an indication that the landing gear was in motion at the time of the crash. Would you be in a position to tell how this would happen? You being an experienced and yes, an experienced Donia pilot. At what point would the landing gear come out?
Thank you, Honorable Member. The landing gear can only come out when you're about to land or when you're to slow down. If you want to slow down, maybe looking for a place for you to get in and don't want to be on a higher speed, and to avoid stalling, you can have the gear down and the flaps so that you are safely operating the aircraft at the minimum speed. So that condition will assist you to operate the aircraft safely because of this gear down and the flaps in the down position. Thank you.
Thank you. And then on the communication between the crew and the tower, in terms of the standard procedure, at what point, for example, you've flown between Lilongwe and Mzuzu, do you communicate to the, for example, Mzuzu Tower as you approach Mzuzu? Is there any point where, as a standard procedure, a communication is supposed to be made from the crew to the tower that we are now approaching Mzuzu?
Thank you, remember. Thank you, through your chair. When you are flying from Lilongwe into Mzuzu, you will be under Lilongwe radar or Lilongwe formation up to a point called NASA. When you reach the point NASA, if you are maintaining the same flight level and you haven't descended, they will advise you when in range, contact Mzuzu. So you'll be trying calling Mzuzu to a point where you'll be able to communicate with Mzuzu. And most of the times, you are able to communicate with Mzuzu 10 nautical miles from Mzuzu. Approximately Abimu Mzimba. That's where you are able to talk to Mzuzu. Thank you.
In this, just your mic. In this case, you can confirm that there was no such communication.
I cannot confirm because sometimes you can be calling stations, you can be calling towers but it cannot hear you because of one, the type of radio you are, the quality of radio you have in your aircraft, or the quality of radio which is on ground, or the terrain which you are flying in. Maybe they were trying to call, but they could not get through because of these factors, the terrain or the level where they were flying in.
Yes, I just wanted that as far as the records are concerned, there was no recorded communication around NASA or at any other point from the moment it left Lilongwe until around 10 past 10. That's the only communication that took place as far as the records are concerned. Is that correct?
Thank you, Chair. That can be confirmed by, I think, the air traffic controllers at the Kamuzu International Airport, because they're the ones we are communicating with the aircraft while in flight. Thank you.
That is all for me. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? There's Kasena.
Chair, once again, thank you for organizing people of the Zagasina and the Major General. Welcome once again, and let me join my honorable colleagues who have already offered their condolences for you lost your friends, your colleague, and no, Keno Sambaropa was your fellow colleague who were exchanging in the flying the Donia. And I think you're the only expert remaining as a pilot of Donia. I want to take you to your presentation, the very first page on blade number 6. You had talked about that the crew arrived late on a Sunday, on 9th, and in their report to you, according to the crew, they said they arrived late in Zuzu due to the adverse weather condition experienced during the flight. And that it goes on the blade number 11, where the crew, when they are in Longwe, they had advised to you on the poor conditions of weather. The night of 9th June, you being the deputy in command at the Airbase, as a deputy commander, you have that request to have the flights to the plane to fly the VIP, the second in command. And you had it in mind that the crew arrived late because of weather condition in Zuzu. At any point, did you give in an advice to the commander that even though you want these flights to come back to perform this duty, but there's this information of the weather as reported to you by the crew? Did you?
Thank you, Honourable Member. I did not give that advice. Looking at Zuzu weather being unpredictable, you might give in that the weather is bad, and you find the other day it proves you wrong. You find that it's open.
But you are saying on blade number 11 that in the morning of 10 June 2024, the crew also advised you of the weather condition, and they had said they're going to seek for further, they obtained the further updated weather condition. I think that was at Kia before they travel back. Did you, at any point before they left, cross-check if they had got the updated weather condition?
Did not check with them if they've got the other weather. But the weather which they told me that the weather was bad was en route weather, not in Zuzu weather. Most of the times, we are worried of aerodrome of landing weather than en route weather.
Very lastly, I think it has come to almost everyone who has come and given their testimony that your Donias and the helicopters don't have black box and they don't have ELT batteries, more especially this one, which the one in question, 62004. Now you were the deputy in command at the airbase, and also you were a pilot yourself, a Donia pilot. I would want to get your opinion. Let's leave out the Chicago Convention agreement where these things are not supposed to be there. As a pilot carrying a civilian, would you recommend and think it's proper to carry a VVIP in our flights in that conditions where there's no ELT? In your own opinion, as second command, what would you recommend?
Thank you, Honorable Member. What determines a safe flight is the airworthiness of the aircraft. The aircraft, is it airworthy? And it has got a minimum required equipment which is supposed to be serviceable. So that one is the main point where we use for provision of aircraft. So if the aircraft is airworthy, it can carry any mission. It's up to the organization or the government to put its stand on whether to use the aircraft in that condition or to upgrade so that it's able to carry those missions with those equipment on board. Because it's a test aircraft which is looked after by the government. It's not the Air Force assets, they are government assets. Thank you, Honourable Member.
So you are as the expert witness, as my brother from Longemude called you. Yes, it's a government property and it's a government to choose whether to upgrade or not. If you are to give in your expert opinion, would you want EOT to be in our flights, to be upgraded, or you're okay going by the standard which you were as a pilot of Edonia?
As a pilot, I would love to fly modern aircraft. I will need everything in the aircraft. All the equipment which is supposed to be in the aircraft, I will need it. The autopilot, ground proximity, everything. I'll need it.
How long, maybe, Chair, I want to understand, how long have you been the second in command at the Air Force? And a pilot, a Donia pilot?
I've been a Donia pilot since 1994.
At any point, did you recommend to have that upgraded flight, as you said, that you'd want as a pilot to fly a updated flight? While you're in second command or as a pilot, have you ever recommended?
There are a lot of write-ups on the upgrades. We are writing a lot of letters for the upgrade of all the platforms which we have. Because of that dream of flying well-equipped and upgraded platforms. Thank you.
That is all from the Zagasina Chair.
Zomba Tonde.
Thank you so much, Chair. And good evening, Major General. Just to confirm one or two things. When one would want to follow on your maintenance lines, do you keep maintenance cards for respective components on the aircraft? Would you confirm that?
Thank you, Chair. If I may be able to say, I've seen on the list of attendees who will be attending this inquiry. I think there are technicians and engineers who will be able to elaborate on those issues.
Okay, then, Chair, I will have to spare that for until such a time. And again, I wanted you, Captain, to confirm. You mentioned when there was a request for opinion, you mentioned that one reason that would make pilots do turns maybe trying to look for an opportunity for some credits into trying to get down. I wanted you to confirm that that is not the only thing you may suggest, you may think of. There are also other things that can bring pilots into behaving in that manner. Is that correct? Or would you confirm that that's not the only thing that may happen? There may be other factors other than that.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Thank you, Chair. Turning around at one point might come out in two things. One is what you have talked about, what we have talked about. The other one might be maybe just to delay a certain landing. You can be circling around at one point, just to delay while you're waiting for maybe an aircraft is landing or weather to improve, something like that. Thank you, Honourable Member.
Thank you so much. Let me, let's imagine you have someone in the aircraft. Like, I'll give you a negative example, don't imagine it. But we've had people hijacking aircrafts. I can witness that myself. And I mean, I can attest to the same. If one would force the pilots, maybe they're trying to take over control of the control column, and maybe you're fighting and it's locked in one position. Is that also one possibility? Yes or no?
Can I come to your rescue?
Thank you. No, apologies.
Yes. So we have another phase, the actual flight. And I think we need to keep these questions for the actual flight. So can we keep these questions for the other, because I can see him, we will have another engagement with him to explain all these maneuverings, how the flight was taking place. So I don't want us to exhaust everything else now.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
But my point was, I wanted him to imagine other factors other than what he said. I just wanted him to confirm that that was an example, but not an absolute example.
No, I fully understand. It's a valid question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Chair, I also wanted the captain to confirm that what he suggested about the landing gears down for retarding of the speed, I mean, retarding of the aircraft is not a standard procedure. It's probably a military procedure.
It's not a standard procedure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's what happens when you have engineers in the room. But we'll get to the actual flight itself, and all these questions will be posed once again. So, Zomba City South.
Thank you so much, Chair. I will not go to the BFU report because you have guided us. But Major General, the aircraft in question was a VVIP aircraft. Was it procured as a VVIP aircraft, or it was configured after it was bought by Malawi?
It was procured as a VVIP aircraft. Thank you.
So if it was procured as a VVIP aircraft, I think the features in there could be akin to civilian aircraft. Would you confirm?
Affirmative, Honourable Chair.
In that case, I find it very difficult now to understand why it did not have the black box, the cockpit voice recorder, the flight data recorder, because it was configured as a civilian aircraft.
As I've already said that an aircraft, when it's bought, being a military aircraft, it has got a minimum list of equipment which they put in on the aircraft for it to be flying. Some of this other equipment is the state buying the aircraft, putting forward so that they can install those equipment on the aircraft. That's why at one point we are bringing in suggestions for this equipment to be installed on the aircraft. Thank you.
Chair, I was following up because it was also mentioned at a certain point that military aircraft it's not mandatory unless you're procuring as a VVIP. So they know this will not be doing maneuvers by the soldiers. It will be carrying VVIP. And therefore, I thought it was common sense that what they call the black box would be installed. But I think the captain is advising us otherwise. I would propose that we still, as a committee, continue on this path to establish the truth. Finally, Chairperson, Major General, I think you are responsible for calling for an emergency response team in Zomba. Can you confirm?
Yes, I can confirm, Honorable Chair.
So you knew about the missing aircraft at around 10 in the morning. This emergency response team was called at 6 p.m. On my counting, it's 8 hours after you knew that the aircraft was missing. What took you so long to convene this emergency response team?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There are phases of search. The first phase, it's where we are contacting the tower and the airports around for the missing aircraft. The second phase is when the civil aviation declares an emergency. Good enough, the MDF has got battalions and the barracks in all the regions. So the brigade in Mzuzu was tasked to conduct the search, while us in Zomba, we are moving in to beef up with them. We had other partners who wanted to assist in the search, like the American embassy provided an aircraft, which was to conduct the search on the 11th. We had the University of Science. They wanted to provide drones for the same search. So we had to coordinate all this before our departure because some of these partners wanted the liaison officers with them on the search. Thank you, Honorable Member.
No, thank you very much, gentlemen. Maybe just one clarification. At the time that we inspected the wreckage in Zomba, there was a donia there. Was that donia operational on 10th June 2024?
Thank you, Chair. It was unserviceable.
It was unserviceable?
Unserviceable.
Meaning to say that you didn't have a spare parts? What particular spare parts, or it was just service, normal change of oil, avionics and stuff like that?
It was to go a scheduled maintenance and the replacement of some of the spare parts. As I already said, there will be some technicians coming in. I think they'll be able to explain which inspection was coming in on that aircraft for it not to fly.
The time we were at the Zomba Airbase, we were told that the donia that was used to go to Mzuzu on this fateful day had a fault a week earlier, and they had attended to that mechanical fault. Would you be able to confirm to us that the nature of the mechanical fault and how it was resolved?
Thank you, Chair. It was the problem of ADI between the left side and the right side, the propeller side and the power sky side. They were giving any different indications. And when the pilots reported that defect, it was rectified and the the gadgets were replaced and the aircraft was tested and it was performing well. Thank you.
What's ADI, just for a layman's language? I don't understand. What's an ADI? Just in simple language?
Ndi instrument imene imaonetsa attitude ya ndege okakuti sukuyang'ana kunja ndege chikamauluka. You use that instrument to show you that you are flying straight and level. Thank you, Chair.
No, I'm satisfied. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I want to ask you one question concerning the BFU report. On their findings, 3.1, they say findings, 3.11, crews. They have indicated that the investigation was unable to find aeromedical certificate for either pilot valid at the time of the incident. I think you have heard about that, yeah?
Thank you, Right Honorable. Thank you, Honorable, and through your chair. Yes, I've heard about that one. When we are flying, you carry your license. Unfortunately, most of the documents which the crew were carrying, they were lost in the accident. So when they requested for those documents, we didn't have them readily available because you carry a license with you whenever you're flying. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, Chair, thank you. Yeah.
Major General, when we read the reports, it's indicated that the training of pilots is supposed to be very regular, if not every year. Can you confirm when was the last time the pilots attended a training for the Donia? Or if at all they had missed any other training prior to their departure on this mission?
Thank you, Chair. We conduct regular training at the base, and we conduct annual checks at the base. And during that time, we had just conducted the training with the pilots. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. If members don't have any further questions, we can. Yep.
Just a follow-up on your question. Who conducts these trainings at the base? Is it internally or this an expert who comes in and drill the pilots on this training?
Thank you, Honorable Member. We conduct the training at the base. I am one of the instructors. Late Owen Sambalopa was one of the instructors too. So could do conduct regular trainings with the pilots. Thank you.
Who trains the instructors? In this case, you and the lead, who was training you? I think that's why the chair was asking us. The actual pilot, including the pilot in command, the late Sambaroba, even you as a pilot, who trains you? Or periodically, or a year, or whatever? Or do you go to training?
Once a year, we attend a refresher course in German.
Every year you are going?
We are to go for that training.
Thank you very much. General, Major General, I think we have spent a lot of time with the commander of the Air Force before you came. So most of the questions were asked by members. We were aware that our interaction with you was going to be very short because most of the answers were answered. But you've managed to fill in the gaps of some of the information that we didn't have and give us some clarity. All we know is that you'll be relevant in the next phase as well. So we seek your continued cooperation until we see this matter to the end. If you have, do you have any further comments to make at this stage?
Thank you, Chair. I think at this point, I don't have any comments. Thank you.
Major General, you can take leave and we'll meet you next time.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.